afternoon, Southwest Florida. I'm Bri Walling. This Naples Herald Lunch Break is sponsored by our friends at Tillerson Kia of Cape Coral. This afternoon, we'll tell you about an advocate for minding your mind speaking to Fort Myers students about mental health, Rex Tillerson getting the boot as Secretary of State, and more. Today is Tuesday, March 13th, and this is the Lunch Break. Now 25, Drew Bergman grew up as a typical teenager, the youngest of 3 siblings, successful parents, and a solid student with average grades. You'd never guess he tried to kill himself twice by the age of 16, starting as early as 12 years old. Bergman shared his story of struggle at a presentation to students of South Fort Myers High School on Monday. He was visiting the area as part of Minding Your Mind, a mental health advocacy group out of Philadelphia that pushes for mental health reform and to normalize the discussion and the necessity of discussion about mental health issues in school-aged children. According to Mental Health America, 1 in 5 people have a mental disorder of some kind, which averages out to around 40 million Americans. 76% of youth have little to no access to proper treatment for anxiety, depression, or other mental disorders. It's a problem that's grown astronomically out of control in both adults and children. Since the February tragedy at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, mental health issues have been a forefront issue in state and national politics. On Friday, Governor Scott signed a $500 million piece of legislation to deal with gun control, school safety, and mental health. Bergman ended his segment with advice, both personal and professional, about certain lifestyle changes that can preserve mental health and improve it. Besides the fixes we've all heard as adults but don't necessarily practice, like getting enough sleep and eating healthier, Bergman implored the young crowd to have a couple of trusted adults or people to speak with to try to externalize thoughts and feelings without feeling destructive or singled out. President Trump has fired Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and said he would nominate CIA Director Mike Pompeo to replace him, putting an ardent foe of the Iran nuclear deal in charge of U.S. diplomacy, as Trump also dives into high-stakes talks with North Korea. Though Trump and other officials said he'd been considering replacing Tillerson for some time, the president said he made the decision only recently and by himself, also insisting that Tillerson will be much happier now. Word of Trump's dissatisfaction with Tillerson and plans to replace him with Pompeo had circulated for months, even as Tillerson insisted he didn't plan to leave and that he knew of no plans of his termination. Rumors about friction between Trump and Tillerson increased last fall, with reports that Tillerson had called the president a moron while meeting with other officials. The changes come as Trump considers whether to withdraw the U.S. from the 2015 Iran deal that Pompeo has called disastrous. Tillerson had long pushed Trump to remain in the agreement and had been pursuing a delicate strategy with European allies and others to try to improve it or augment it to Trump's liking. The president said he was nominating CIA Deputy Director Gina Haspel to take over for Pompeo at the intelligence agency, and if confirmed, Haspel would be the CIA's first female director. National Geographic acknowledged on Monday that it covered the world through a racist lens for generations, with its magazine portrayals of bare-breasted women and naive brown-skinned tribesmen as savage, unsophisticated, and unintelligent. Editor-in-Chief Susan Goldberg said in an interview about the magazine's April issue, which is devoted to race, "We had to own our story to move beyond it." National Geographic first published its magazine in 1888, and until the 1970s virtually ignored people of color in the U.S. who were not domestic or laborers, and it reinforced repeatedly the idea that people of color from foreign lands were exotic, noble savages, and every other type of cliche. This examination comes as other media organizations are also casting a critical eye on their past. The New York Times recently admitted that most of their obituaries chronicled the lives of white men and began publishing obituaries of famous women in its overlooked section. National Geographic, which now reaches 30 million people around the world, was the way that many Americans first learned about the rest of the world. It was also one of the first advocates of using color photography in its pages and is well known for its coverage of history, science, and environmentalism nationally and globally. And that was a lunch break for today. I'm Bri Walling. For your twice daily news fix, head over to the Naples Herald YouTube channel and subscribe. Leave us a comment to let us know your thoughts on the news or what you'd like to hear about. The lunch break airs Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. right here at naplesherald.com. And don't forget to check out our morning report that also airs Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.